I mean, that's really valuable to me because just growing up, I always seen my parents just work hard day in and day out tirelessly just to
Yeah.
provide for me. And a lot of people don't have those opportunities just to have two two parents who just hold things down,
Mm,
have the foundation of the family just so stable and just teaching us right from wrong.
mm,
And as I got older, I started to see like how blessed I am to have parents like this. Like
mm.
not everyone has guidance how I do and things like that. So it wouldn't make sense for me to go out there and not represent what they worked so hard to get me to this point. All the money that sacrificed for me, high school, AAU, even times when they didn't have it, they made sure that I could go and excel and chase my dreams. So I always, when I play, I always have in the back of my mind, like, this is what I'm doing it for. It's not just for myself. Like, yeah, I love the game, but without them, I wouldn't be in this position.
Well, everyone, this is Author Tim Brown, the book Uncommon Athletes, filled with passion, fueled by purpose. And I'm blessed today to have a young man on the show who's really loves the game, has always had fun playing basketball, from the youth level to the collegiate level now. I'm so just excited to have him on here. I'll remind those to make sure you subscribe and like the channel so I continue to bring these broadcasts. But today I have with me Adrian Nelson. He's a young man from Pickerington, Ohio. Played at Pick Central and a couple of regional championships, made to the state Final Four a few times. Finished his career at Northern Kentucky and now has moved on to a Youngstown State for his fifth year. But this is going to be a great conversation. All of us have gone through some adversity to continue to play this game, and he's handled it so well. And I wanted to make sure that he got on here just to encourage someone else who might be going through something. So, Adrian, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thanks for having me. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, I want to jump right into this ESPN deal. In high school, you made ESPN with I guess they say you broke a rim for a
Yes,
dunk in the high
sir.
school game. Can you talk about that day? Talk about that
Yeah,
experience.
so yeah, I for sure say that's probably one of the craziest days of my life for sure. Leading up to the event, actually, like a day or two before, one of my teammates had sent me, I think it was like a tweet or something about St. Vincent St. Mary, like some kid had made ESPN from a dunk, and
Mhm.
my teammate had told me like he was like, "You have a better dunk than this every game.
Mm.
You should be on there." I was like, I just told him like, don't worry, but I'm gonna be on there soon. Like, not even know what I was saying, just having confidence in myself. So crazy enough, it was like next day we played Groveport Madison. It's like one of our rivals in high school. So it's like first half of the game, maybe like second quarter. So me and one of my teammates were double teaming one of the players handling the ball, and he like threw a turnover, and like I seen when he threw the ball, like one of my teammates got it. So I started leaking out. So then I started running. He threw the ball up to me. And then all I remember, like I was trying to do like a certain dunk, but I kind of slipped.
Mm.
So like I just went up for a two-hand dunk. And like when I went dunk, because I always when I dunk, I always dunk hard. Like I'm tenacious when I dunk. Like I
Yeah.
always gotta like make an impact on the rim.
All right.
So when I dunked it, like the rim broke. But I
Ooh.
didn't I just heard a loud snap and I like just
Oh.
looked up. I'm like, I didn't even know what to do. Like I just walked away. I was just nonchalant. Like I didn't know what to do. I was just humble about it. But everybody was going crazy.
Yeah.
So then they eventually like just ended up canceling the game because there
Wow.
was no way they could repair it. Because I guess they said like I snapped a bolt in the rim or something.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it was just crazy when
Yeah.
it happened.
Now, how was that? How was that next day at high school? How was that next day at school when you walked in the building? How was that day?
uh yeah, that was for I'll say that lasted for not even a day. That lasted for like a week
Right.
or two,
Right.
honestly. But a lot of people were just coming up to me like, wow, I can't believe you did that. Like they're sending me like stuff from like Sports Illustrated, like saying stuff like I was on like ESPN ads and all this stuff. Like it was
Right.
crazy. But I just everybody at school just treat me like a superstar. But
Right.
it was crazy. It was crazy for sure.
Yeah, that's some kind of experience. I'm sure that was a lot of fun, man. I'm sure
Yes,
you
sir, for
always
sure.
remember that.
Yeah, for sure.
When you were growing up, what sports did you participate in? Was it just basketball?
No, actually, a lot of people wouldn't believe it, but when I was younger, like I was real athletic, so I tried out gymnastics for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did that for like couple months. I didn't do that too long.
Yeah.
Then after that, I got around third grade. I got into football.
Hmm.
I played that for about 1 year, and then after that, that's when I found my true love for basketball. Just watching LeBron and players like that, just dunking and just all the athleticism and shooting and stuff. That really like drew my attention. And then on top of that, like my brother was real good at basketball, and I like see him as my role model at the time. So, well, he still is, not at the time, but so that really like drew my attention and love towards the game. So that's when I'll probably say I really started playing basketball, like around third grade.
When did you realize that, hey, I'm pretty good at this game? You know, I can do something with this game.
I'll say probably like around like fourth or fifth grade. Like I seen I had a lot of advantage over like a lot of kids my age. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was way more athletic,
Mm-hmm.
and I just really seen like I could really do something with this. Like, and I started taking it more serious. Like once I started playing it more, so that's the time I'll probably say.
Oh, good, good. You were one of those guys who had to play through the COVID season.
Mhm.
Can you describe how your faith and your family? I know your family's real close. Can you describe how your faith and family got you through those unprecedented times?
Yeah, one thing about my faith is I always know God always has things in store for me. Whether if I'm thinking that it's adversity hit me at the time, I don't know what He has planned, but I know it's always good in the end. Really, I would say just the COVID thing really hit us. My team, like my sophomore year, after we had won the NCAA tournament, or our conference tournament, we're supposed to go to the NCAA tournament.
Right.
So that's really when COVID really hit it. I had an impact on me, and I had to go home for about like a month, like when everyone started quarantining.
Hmm.
So then that's really when got closer with my family, like faith wise and bond wise. Just we were just motivating each other, just telling each other like not everything's for granted. We can't take everything for granted because it could be taken away in an instant. And that really related not only to that basketball stuff, but also with health and things like that. Because a lot of people were getting sick. It
Hmm.
was like a lot of my family members had to be careful because they have like health problems and stuff like that. So just really standing together during those times, I feel like really helped me get through the basketball aspect as well. Because when the season started, my family couldn't be there,
Hmm.
but just knowing just I had them in spirit with me from a
Right,
distance.
right, right, right.
So I knew I was still playing for the name of my back and things like that. So I had to make sure I had to go out there and represent. And I knew that God could have let me get sick at that time or in those times I wanted to play, but He always had a plan for me. And I still had a pretty good year during that COVID year.
Yeah. You just said something about playing for that name on your back.
Mhm.
Talk about that
Mhm.
Nelson name. What does that mean to you, and why is that name so valuable?
I mean, that's really valuable to me because just growing up, I always seen my parents just work hard day in and day out tirelessly just to
Yeah.
provide for me. And a lot of people don't have those opportunities just to have two two parents who just hold things down,
Mm-hmm.
have the foundation of the family just so stable and just teaching us right from wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got older, I started to see like how blessed I am to have parents like this. Like not everyone has guidance how I do and things like that. So it wouldn't make sense for me to go out there and not represent what they worked so hard to get me to this point. All the money that sacrificed for me, high school, AAU, even times when they didn't have it, they made sure that I could go and excel and chase my dreams. So I always, when I play, I always have in the back of my mind, like, this is what I'm doing it for. It's not just for myself. Like, yeah, I love the game, but without them, I wouldn't be in this position.
Right. That's powerful. Yeah, we always try to get guys to understand it's not about you,
Mhm.
not about
Right,
you. It's about this is for someone's watching as well,
right.
and
Yes,
we
sir.
always want the next generation, to do better, to excel or whatnot, and all
Yes,
that.
sir.
Awesome. You've been that example. One of the things about your college career from following you and tracking you, you've been a tireless rebounder.
Yes,
That's
sir.
dirty work. What is it about rebounding that you enjoy? And one of the things, not only were you a defensive rebounder, but you really excelled on that offensive end.
Yes,
What,
sir.
what is it about rebounding that you love so much?
Well, just with the game, I realized like a lot of other players, like they really just are all focused on scoring. But as I got older and started to see the game more, like it's really not all about scoring. It's about the little things. And one of the things is not everybody likes rebounding. So I had to really just take a step back and look like God made me a certain way, like my build,
Mm.
like how fast I am, like how I can move at my size. And I'm understanding I have these disadvantages and people don't want to do this dirty work. So why would I not do it and excel in that area? So also just coming into college, like as everyone knows, there's a role you got to play sometimes. Like even though you might have scored in high school and things like this, like you got to find a role to stay on that floor. So once I came in, I always knew I was good at rebounding. So when I came in, I realized I could do it at the college level as well, and I just really exceeded at that. So it's always been, I wouldn't say my true identity, but that's what people know me as. So
Yeah, get the audience give these young guys a quick lesson on rebounding. You know what it takes to be that kind of rebounder. Because everybody says they love to, they watch guys getting all these rebounds and trying to. Man, is it a position thing, knowing where the ball's coming off, or what is it about
yeah.
rebounding?
Well, for one of the greats, Dennis Rodman, I actually looked at some of his stuff. He was just one of the main things he used to preach was just knowing which way the ball is going to bounce once it hits the rim. So usually, if a player shoots from the right side, 8 to 9 times out of 10, it's going to bounce off on the left side. So just really studying which way the ball is going to go and just having that first step over your opponent. Because if you're crashing from the wing, like, and your teammate shooting from the right side, you got to step like right, left, to like get him to shift the right to go left to go get that rebound or whatever. So it's just really just knowing where it's going to bounce, having the right positioning, and just wanting to get more than the next person.
And that's key what you just said, wanting it more than the next person, wanting
Sure.
the ball. It was great. Well, you sound like a coach there. I didn't want you to give up I didn't want you to give all your secrets. But yeah, just being a student of the game as well. And I think
Yes, sir.
I think a lot of young guys have lost that. They want to play so much and not really understand the game. And it's really a simple game, It's really a simple game. It literally goes back to a math class, understanding angles, all that kind of stuff, they give you that advantage. And I love what you said for these young guys. Hopefully they heard that, is that when you're at that level, you got to figure out what'll keep you on the floor. What is that thing that'll get you on the floor and not just get you on the court, but keep you on there, And the coaches know that you can fill that void for them. You can fill that hole for them. They'll make sure that you're getting that playing time. You've also gone through some, you've had some injuries as well that you had to fight through. In the book, I talk about having an uncommon nerve. And what I mean by that is, guys will get injured and they keep coming back, or something happens in their life and they keep coming back, that they have a whole lot of nerve, to continue to play. Can you talk about your injuries and how you were able to overcome those?
Yeah, so my sophomore year, actually in high school, I had a stress fracture in my L4 and L5, which is like the lower bone of your spine. So I think they were telling me it was probably because I was from growing too much, or just because of how I played. Like I was always jumping and so much, so it's causing a lot of stress on my back. And I had went to the doctors. Well, prior to that, like I was having back pains, but over time, gradually as I'm jumping and stuff like this, like it's getting worse. So I really didn't know what was wrong. So I ended up going to the doctors. They did like some MRIs and X-rays on my back, and they told me I had like a stress fracture in there, and I was out 9 to 12 weeks. So in high school ball, that's the whole season. So I might have played 2 games, and I missed my whole sophomore year. So that was a real moment in my life where I'll probably say basketball. When people say put blood, sweat, and tears into basketball, I'll probably say that's one of the parts where I put my tears into it because I was hurt. Like at that time, I didn't have any offers. Like I didn't know what to do. But my strength coach, who passed away, Coach Banks, he always preached to me and my brother when we were lifting, like never give up, no matter what. So I couldn't give up, especially how much work I put in to even get to that point, and everything my parents did for me. So I missed whole sophomore year, came back, finished out high school. So then after my freshman year in college, we were in summer time, and we had just got a new coaching staff. So you know how easy that is. Like you want to play in front of new coaches, show yourself, prove yourself. So the second day, this is when the new assistant coaches just got there. I had already played in front of the head coach, and I was playing my game how I wanted to, because previously I was in a role just rebounding as a younger guy. I wanted to prove myself. So for the assistant coaches, we were playing. I was guarding one of my teammates in open gym. We were playing open gym in front of the coach, and I was guarding him in the post. He hit me like he was trying to back me down. Hit me one time, and my knee just buckled.
Mm.
I'm like, I knew something wasn't right because for one, I never had. I mean, I've had a or like hyperextended my knee before. Like I know what that feels, but it was a different feeling this time for sure. Like, and I wouldn't say I cried because of the pain, but it was more because I knew something was wrong and I felt something. So um, I had to go to the training room right after that. I knew they were icing and stuff, and then my trainer was just telling me, "Yeah, we're gonna have to get like an MRI on this to see what's going on." So then, um, eventually, a couple of days go by. He calls me back to the arena. He's like, "Yeah, I need to talk to you." And he just
Mm.
basically told me like, "You tore your ACL and meniscus."
Wow.
I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And he just basically told me like I had to get surgery on my knee.
Mm.
And like I always told myself, like just watching Derrick Rose, I'm like, man, that's probably one of the crazy injuries. If that ever happens, I promise I'm never playing basketball again. Like I'm done if that ever
Mm.
happens to me.
Mm.
And it's just crazy, like how I could say that and just come into existence. So I really think like God was testing me, like,
Mm.
do you really love this game or not?
Right.
So I was out. I would say I was out. The recovery time for ACL injury is usually like 6 to 7 months or 5 to 7 months. But actually, I came back faster than what the timeline was. Like I came back faster to be able to play in the season and stuff like that. So I would say really, um, just my faith in God, of course. My family just holding me down in those times, and just having faith and not giving up, really helped me get through those times. And I also feel like my ACL injury, just being out on the sideline, gave me another perspective of basketball because it's so much different when you're in the game and actually playing compared to watching and seeing stuff that could have been done differently or
Mm-hmm.
things you could do in those situations. So I feel like although I was not okay with my situation, it really helped me like build my IQ up. And that's something I really needed because coming out of high school, all I really used was my athleticism and try to get my advantage over people. So being out with an ACL injury and observing the game from a different angle really helped me basketball wise.
Mm. Yeah, it sounds like you're just continuing growing as a young man, Nancy, but also as a basketball player. That your
Yes, sir.
basketball
Yes,
knowledge
sir.
is increasing. I think the Bible says that God takes us through stuff so that we can. So really, takes us through stuff not for us but for others, so we can comfort others
Yes,
when
sir.
they're going through. Was there somebody else that went through a similar thing that you were able to kind of comfort during their time or share your
Yeah,
experience with you?
actually, one of my new teammates that came in, John Harge, me and him were like similar positions. He ended up being like my roommate when he first got there, and he actually ended up getting the same injury as me. And
Mm.
like he was just really just asking me like a lot of questions about it, and I was there for him, just
Mm.
explaining to him like, yeah, the biggest thing is really just a mental game. Like,
Mm.
yeah, you got to understand your knee is messed up right now, but once you get back in the groove of things, like it's really just your mind trying to restrict you from doing the movements that you knew you could do before. So you just gotta stay positive, just stay consistent in your rehab, just staying staying strong in the things you do because I remember there was that times I wanted to give up my rehab. Like it was so painful. Like I just wanted to stop right there. But I knew I couldn't because the storm can't be forever. The storm can't last forever.
Mm.
And there's always light at the end of that road. So
Mm.
just really just helping him just I feel like being there for him helped motivate myself as well because people were there for me when I was hurt, and that helped me get through that. So I'd probably say that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because God puts us in those positions,
Mm,
where we can share, you can really share with Him because you really went through it. You
yeah.
and made it through. Like I said, through the storm. That's a good word. It's a good word. Seems like when you play, you just have so much fun playing basketball.
Mm,
How are you able to keep the game fun? 'Cause, you get to this level and it's almost
mm.
becomes so much of a business or whatnot. But how are you able to keep the game fun?
Really, I just look at it as at the end of the day, it's really just a sport. It's playing basketball. Like it's not like it's a life or death situation or anything like that. It's just basketball at the end of the day. Like, and I feel like that's what a lot of people get so stuck up on. Like they take it so serious to the
Mm.
point they're not having fun. And if you're not having fun with the game, then what's the point? Like, yeah, it's okay to be serious with it, but sometimes you have to have fun and just enjoy like playing basketball because it's a sport. Like, and that's what I always think about. And then just me personally, like I'm always smiling. I'm always a happy person. So
Yeah.
whatever I do is gonna be fun. So
Right.
nothing really can deter that for me. So I just always look at it as an opportunity to go out there, use my God-given abilities, and just put on a show. Really. So that's how I view the game and always have fun with it.
That's good. That's good. Well, this has been really great. Just hearing your story and just being encouragement to others. Can you talk a little bit about this transfer portal? And I know you finished. Share with the audience that I know you graduated from Northern Kentucky, and then you made a decision to transfer for your 5th year to Youngstown State. Can you talk about how the process in that decision for you?
Yeah, so really, I entered the transfer portal just for better opportunities for myself. I feel like I could do so much more with my game, and then the NCAA just gave us this opportunity with the COVID year. Since COVID happened, and it took away a lot of our seasons. Just it gave me another opportunity to prove myself to do what I actually know I can do, and just really expand my game and things like that. But not everyone that entered the transfer portal had an opportunity to have another school
Mm-hmm.
to go to. I had a lot of schools reach out to me because they believed in me. So that really means something to me because, like I said, a lot of other people that entered the portal didn't even have one school reach out to them. So at this point, they don't know what to do with college or basketball. So I feel like all these opportunities I'm given is really a blessing because me entering the portal, was me risking it. Like basketball could have been college basketball could have been over for me. I would have just had to either resort to a regular job or going overseas, which is necessarily I might not have been ready for. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it really helped me at the end.
Good. Good. For lastly, for these young athletes, can you talk to them about not only were you a good basketball player, but you were an academic All-American, I mentioned as well.
Right.
Talk about the degree that you had and your playing academically and why that's so important.
Yeah. So at Northern Kentucky, I got a bachelor's in organizational leadership, and here at Youngstown State, I'll be getting a master's in professional communications in 1 year. And then academics just for me is I feel like that's the most important thing that will catch anyone's eye. Like, yeah, he's good at basketball, all this, but like people are always gonna look at what you do off the court.
Mm.
So I feel like if I have a good foundation, a good image for myself off the court, then that's just gonna make me look even better because I'm already doing well at basketball. And I feel like a lot of kids nowadays, like they just try to push school off
Mm.
or homework off and they don't really care about grades. But like I always learned that things off the court translate to basketball. So if you're lazy in the classroom,
Mm.
you're gonna be lazy on the court. You're gonna miss those lines. You're gonna be undisciplined in your closeouts or
Mm.
certain things holding your follow through on your shots. So like everything in life correlates no matter what it is. Like if you lazy in the house, you're not making your bed, that's going to correlate to the game. It's just a lot of stuff that you have to get a different perspective and look at differently to help you with basketball. Because basketball is not just all basketball stuff. It's outside things that tie into basketball to help you become not only a better player, but person.
Mm.
So that's how I kind of view it. And just how I was raised, like my parents didn't raise me to be a clown or go to school and like I said, I'm representing in my back. Like my parents got good grades. Why would I not go to school to get good grades? Why would I not try to go to school and do better than them? Like you always have to have a standard for yourself and try to achieve those things. So that's how I always look at things, so I could be the best version of myself.
Or I keep hearing the parents. I keep hearing the parents. I keep hearing the parents.
Mm-hmm.
I keep hearing that all through you. All through. And I'm sure they're
Yes,
proud
sir.
of you, and I'm
Yes,
sure
sir.
that
That's
they're
very yes, sir.
proud of you, and you're making them proud in what you're doing. And I want to thank you for just being an obedient son, just for listening,
Yes, sir.
just for listening
Mm-hmm.
and recognizing, understanding the value of hard work. Hard work. Your
Yes, sir.
hard work is really paying off for you now, and you're in a position
Mm-hmm.
now to achieve those dreams that you dreamed about. And that's what God does. He places in there. He'll give us the desires of our heart if we commit to him, if we commit
Yes,
to
sir.
him and follow him. And so I want to encourage you as you go through this next year, just enjoy the ride. It's been a good one.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
know
sir. For sure.
God has better for us. So Adrian, I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate you taking the time out and look forward to following you this season as you continue on in your basketball career and just on in life. Just on in life. You know, you definitely heard you get your master in communications, and it's when you really communicate well. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yes,
just look forward to whatever God has for you on and off the court and off the court. So thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right.